Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum friends. Welcome back to the latest transfer episode we have for you for Football Gupshup. Right now, I've got plenty of news. We got plenty of tabloids open in front of me. I'll be starting straight away. But folks, if you could please subscribe to the channel, press that like button as well. And if you can please give in your suggestions in the comment section. And please let your friends know about this channel. We are trying to grow this channel on YouTube platform. So please do subscribe. And what we're going to do is we'll be starting this episode from the tabloids, and then we will be heading into the other transfer stories which is in development, and we will see how that one goes. So yesterday we had some of those pre-season games in which Arsenal played, as well as Manchester City, I think it was Chelsea as well, and apparently Gabriel Jesus scored some goals, so he's in front of all of the news right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Sun newspaper, and I want to see what have they reported so far. And so far they are telling about the Arsenal and Chelsea game, whereas in terms of transfer news, it seems that DC United for some strange reason has been reported because of Manchester United. We do know that Wayne Rooney, hello Entertainee, thank you very much for tuning in. Now we do know that Wayne Rooney is the new manager of DC United, and there is a persistence of him that he might go to Manchester United to look for some players. And the first name which has come, it's a shock transfer, is called Phil Jones. We all know that Phil Jones is not a very good player in terms of Manchester United standards. There has always been a criticism of the player that he is not good enough for United. But it seems that there might be an escape route, as Wayne Rooney, who is the new manager of DC United, would be interested into taking Phil Jones to USA. So let's see how that one goes going further. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go and see what other news has been reported so far. And we do know that Burnley, they have a player called Cornet, and this is regarding Everton transfer news. We do know that Everton have inquired about Cornet from Burnley, whereas Burnley have said that they want to make a straight cash deal. They want to make it a permanent deal rather than a loan deal, and then there's an option to buy. They have said that they are willing to make a straight deal of £18 million. Now, if Everton do pay £18 million, what does it mean for the rest of the budget? We still have to wait and see. Is he the number one priority? We do know that they were interested in Zinchenko, and so far Zinchenko valuation isn't being met by Everton. He was the number one target. Harry Winks was reported. There were other player names who were reported, such as Gallagher of Chelsea, who played in Crystal Palace last season on loan. So far everything has gone quiet on the side of Everton. They signed Tarkowski on free. They are looking to do some kind of free deals, and it seems that they want to spend some of the money. They have sold Richarlison, remember, selling him for £60 million to Tottenham. They want to have some sort of cash to spend, and they want to be very careful going into this season as well as the transfer window. They don't want to go over the board. They have to balance the books as well, so they will have to be pretty careful in terms of who do they need to buy and what are they looking for. Now there is a news being reported regarding Arsenal and City. I'll come back to that later. It's about Zinchenko. Other than that, there is not that much being reported in terms of transfer news. There is some news for Newcastle United, which I'm going to give it later as well. And let's see, what do we have over here. And there is a news about Southampton slapping £40 million on Walker Peters as Everton and Lampard target the fullback. So there you go, Southampton raising some money on one of their own players. They're saying that they require at least £40 million, which seems a little bit high. What it tends to mean is that if you come in with a 40 million, maybe there's some sort of negotiation and they could settle for 35 million or 30 million. But I don't think so. Everton would have that much amount of money to spend it on a fullback. Maybe in another circumstances, but it doesn't seem to. That is what it looks like. Now, talking about other news, And there is some news regarding Christian Benteke of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are willing to offload Benteke this summer as they try to raise some of the funds. Other than that, we haven't heard anything special rather than this, that Arsenal rejected £10 million for Leno from Fulham. So that means that Arsenal are not willing to sell him for £10 million. They want more. So let's see what happens on that front. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be heading towards Daily Mail, and we will see what has been reported so far. Something about Koulibaly. There's a big mention of Koulibaly. Apparently John Terry appreciating what Chelsea have done in terms of acquiring Koulibaly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and talk about Leeds United as well as Newcastle United. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about mostly it's Newcastle United rather than Leeds United. So we're going to be talking about that one. Now Leeds have slapped £35 million on Jack Harrison because they are getting interest from not one club but two clubs. It's from Newcastle United as well as Aston Villa. So let's see, maybe it's because Jack Harrison has really played good in the last season. He was really one of the eye catchers. So it seems that Eddie Howe is really an admirer of Jack Harrison. So we might see Eddie Howe going for the likes of Jack Harrison, because remember he was interested in Ekitike, but remember the player agreement with the club didn't turn out to be, and he has signed for PSG. So it seems that Jack Harrison might be one of the players that Eddie Howe thinks that would be really good in terms of acquiring. So they are looking at this, that Newcastle United would go in for Jack Harrison. Maybe there'll be some sort of compromise on the fee mentioned over here, but we do know that Leeds United would want to recoup as much as they can of their quality winger. As concerned with Aston Villa's youngster Kani Chukwuemeka, apparently it has been reported that Barcelona were interested in this player. They think he's a pretty good prospect, but it seems that Eddie Howe is also working on him. They think that if they work on him on Carney, he would be a really good player. So they are looking at those two deals. So one of them is Jack Harrison of Leeds United. The other one is Aston Villa's Carney Chukwuemeka. Sorry for the pronunciation if I didn't make any mistake over there, but this is what it is being reported regarding Newcastle United. So we will have to wait and see how that one goes. We do know that Botman has been acquired. They did inquire of other players such as Alexander Isaac. Real Sociedad said that they wanted at least 76 million euros, which is a lot. Newcastle United were only willing to offer 50 million euros, whereas I think it's mostly because Newcastle United have got new money and the clubs seem to think that they want the money. They could at least excruciate as much as they can from Newcastle United. So I think Newcastle United are being sensible over here. They don't want to pay over the odds. They do know that they have to be very sensible in the transfer market. They have a pretty good example of Everton, how they went down and how they are struggling with their finances. So maybe Newcastle United are going to be a little bit sensible, and they're going to be a little bit more patient, as normally when we see a new club with new money, they always go and spend. So this is the case right now, and we're going to come back to Arsenal. We do know that Arsenal are closing in on £35 million deal for Zinchenko, alongside they're speaking to Telemans as well with Leicester City. Now Arsenal want to close down this deal with Manchester City. They know that Tierney isn't fit enough to play the whole 60 games in the season. They want a player who is a pretty good in terms of quality and who can really play those 60 games a season. They think that Zinchenko would provide that. That is the reason that they are willing to pay 30 million plus to Manchester City, and they would like to acquire him. Remember, Everton inquired about Zinchenko, but because of high valuation put in by Manchester City, Everton didn't go back in for the player. So it seems that Zinchenko will be travelling to North London and he'll be playing for red and white. So that means the Gunners are going to acquire a pretty good player. So Zinchenko is the one who will be signing for Arsenal next. Whereas for Telemans, it seems that they are speaking to Leicester City. Most probably it will be a proper agreement, because Leicester City would want to acquire as much as they can because they know that there's not so much years remaining on the contract, so they would want to recoup as much as they can. I think it's just a matter of time before Arsenal do make that decision. And so far, in terms of what has been reported on Daily Mail, there is nothing a lot other than about West Ham United. I'll be coming to West Ham United in a sec. Other than that, those pre-season games of Chelsea and Arsenal. And we're going to be talking about West Ham United now because there was this report that West Ham United are interested in some of the players and it has to do with their transfer market. West Ham await response from Lille after making £32.5 million for star midfielder Amadou Onana, while the Hammers are also still have bids on the table for strikers Armando Broja of Chelsea and Gianluca Samaka. So there you go, guys. West Ham United are also speaking to some of the players. They really want to acquire these good quality players. We do know that they were interested in Jesse Lingard. So far, nothing has been coming on that front. Maybe because of due to hefty signing on fee of Lingard, maybe he needs to make a compromise on that. We do know that Newcastle United were interested in Lingard, but so far West Ham United have made that offer, but Lingard hasn't said anything. He hasn't said no so far yet. Let's see what happens because this is pre-season and he has to make up his mind in order to sign with the club. Now we do know that he wants to move to MLS, which is quite strange at this age, and he should be at least playing in Europe for at least 2 to 3 more seasons and then he can move onwards to MLS. So West Ham United are trying to get some of other players. They are pretty interested in to get a good quality striker. That is why Gianluca Samaka has been reported for last 2 to 3 weeks. We do know that they have made a bid, but so far there has been some sort of, you could say, no compromise have been made on the fee because I think the club Sassuolo wants more money. But let's see what happens on that front. As far as Chelsea, they've said that they want more for Broja, and West Ham United are not willing to go more than 35 million. Chelsea are asking for a little bit more than that. Remember, they're gonna spend a lot in this transfer market. That is why Chelsea are asking for a lot of money. So let's see what happens on that front. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be heading towards other news, and we're gonna be speaking about Chelsea right now and PSG. Chelsea and PSG are in direct talks for Presnel Kimpembe. Initial requests are around 60 million euros to 65 million euros, but Chelsea are prepared to submit 45 million to 50 million euros. So there is a difference of about 10 to 15 million euros. Now, work is in progress. PSG consider Kimpembe part of the project, but he can leave in case of good proposal. Remember that PSG are interested in Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar. They really want Milan Skriniar. They have spoken to Inter Milan. Inter Milan have given a valuation of 80 million euros. It seems to be a little bit too much. PSG are working around to get it around 60 million euros, but Inter Milan don't want to make any sort of compromise. Now PSG think that if they're able to sell Kimpembe for around 60 million euros, then what they can do is they can go back to Inter Milan and say that here's 60 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons, and how about you give us Milan Skriniar? That's what it's been circulating in French media. Now, because of these reports which have been reported in English media, sometimes there is some kind of sort of contradiction. But for so far, what it has been reported, the actual valuation which PSG want for Kimpembe is 60 million euros. It was reported earlier, but since Chelsea have been reported and been strongly linked with Kimpembe, they have been focusing on, 50 million euros, 50 million euros. But I think there will be some sort of compromise happening with this deal. Once the compromise is being done, once the agreement is done, I'm sure that PSG will go back in for Milan Skriniar. Remember, they want Renato Sanchez as well. They've already signed Ekitike. They are thinking about other acquisitions as well, but their foremost importance is to get Milan Skriniar. So they know that Inter Milan are not going to budge on 80 million euros. So they need to come out to some sort of compromise for that. They're not going to sell Kimpembe for less. So Chelsea will have to pay more in order to get this player. Now, in regards to agreement between Arsenal and Manchester City for Zinchenko is being done. It's just the deal with player agreement. The Arsenal, they have to just do agree with Zinchenko. Once that is done, the deal will be done and then it will be announced. Now, going forward with Ajax, we're going to talk about Ajax because remember, Ajax are selling players and they've got lots of money and now they're reinvesting in their squad. So we're going to talk about, first of all, with the outgoings. Remember, Haller, he left for Borussia Dortmund. Mazraoui, he left to Bayern Munich, and then Gravenberch as well. We do know that Lisandro Martinez to Manchester United is done. We also know that Anthony is being kind of wanted by Manchester United, but we'll find out about that later. Now, Ajax have got some money. They spent it back in Wijnaldum of AZ Alkmaar. They have spent that money on Bergwijn from Tottenham Hotspur. Now, the other deals which they're about to do are these ones. Calvin Bassey is going to be completed. He plays for Rangers. The deal is going to be for 22 million euros plus some 5 million euros add-ons. Whereas Francisco Conceição is in Amsterdam to sign a 5-year deal. It's going to be a fee of 5 million euros. The release clause was triggered already. The next one is going to be, after these two deals, Brian Brobby, who is set to join from RB Leipzig. Remember, Brian Brobby is being linked to Manchester United, but it seems that Ajax really want the player and they really want to get it done. They haven't got a striker, so that is why they're focusing on getting Brian Brobby at utmost importance. Now for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he's going to be signing a new contract with AC Milan. That contract is going to be around 1 million to 1.5 million euros and some guaranteed plus add-ons depending on his performances. So we could see Zlatan Ibrahimovic playing for at least good one more season. He will be turning 41 in October. So that's pretty amazing to have a player who's playing in his 40s in European competition, in a European league. It's going to be really interesting to see Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, we're going to be talking about Arsenal back again because Arsenal, remember, they have a defender called William Saliba who's getting an interest from various clubs. Now, many Premier League clubs are inquiring about him. Now, Arsenal have to answer about this because remember, they've got Ben White, they've got Gabriel. They need to answer this to the player because the player thinks that he's ready to start in Arsenal first team 11. Now, Arteta has said this. William Saliba is in the plans. I'm excited to see him. We can't guarantee first team football to anybody in this team, but the ones we really see and think are going to take us to the next level, they're going to be playing a lot of minutes. Now, what does this mean? It means that Saliba is not going to get a guaranteed starter time. He might get in some games, but he will have to be patient enough to wait and get the minutes. For example, in League Cup, in FA Cup, maybe in Europa League. And from there, they will see how he does in those games. And maybe then they will try to give him a chance in Premier League. Now, for William Saliba, it's pretty important to start because he knows that this is a World Cup year. Remember, in World Cup year, all of the players, they want a certainty to have those minutes under their belt. Otherwise, the national team squad manager will not select them. The coaching staff will not put any sort of confidence in those players who are not playing regularly. Remember the reason why Bergwijn, who was some sort of a success for Tottenham, whenever he played, he used to score the goals. He was always putting his performances, they were top notch. But remember, Antonio Conte always had Kulusevski as well as Son in front of him. Even Lucas wasn't getting that much time game, which made Bergwijn to think about his position in Tottenham. He does know that he was playing for Antonio Conte, a top coach, but he wasn't getting those minutes. That means he would have missed out in those Netherlands team World Cup squad, and he didn't want to have that. That is why he opted to go back to Ajax to at least get a regular playing time and a regular starting time so that he could have those minutes under his belt and travel to the World Cup Qatar, and that's what the focus is of the players right now. So we will get to see many of those fringe players who are not getting those minutes in their present clubs moving around because of that World Cup. And I wouldn't be surprised if this transfer market is gonna go until the deadline day. We will hear so many stories, we will hear so many rumors, but in actual number of players moving to other clubs is going to be quite high this year, because remember, if not in November and December, if the World Cup would have been happening then the World Cup would have been taking place in June and July. And if the World Cup would have been over, then many teams, they would have scouted, they would have seen new players, they would have said maybe we like this player, we want to get this player. And in the World Cup year, there's always a lot of transfer activity. So for that reason, I can see that William Saliba might get a move if any club comes up with big money. Imagine if Newcastle United would think that, maybe we have a chance for William Saliba, even though Arsenal would want top dollar for him. But William Saliba quality in terms of the defender he is, he has that kind of quality. And if any other club who has the money, they would spend out on William Saliba. So let's see what happens on that front. Now, regarding talks between Olympique Marseille and Arsenal for Nuno Tawares, remember, Arsenal going in for Zinchenko. They have a surplus of Tawares, and they wouldn't want Tawares to stay at Arsenal. They would want to lower their wage bill. Now, Nuno Tawares is not wanting to move to Marseille because the talks are not progressing. Apparently, Marseille are focused on other targets. Then, once that is done, then they will come back to Tawares. So let's see what happens with Tawares. Maybe some other club comes in. And so far, there has been no movement happening on that front. Aston Villa, as I've said to you earlier, they are now willing to sell Carney Chukwuemeka. They have set an asking price of around £20 million. The player who they're saying that he's in this last year of contract. Barcelona lead the chase, but there are other European elite clubs who want the player. So wouldn't be surprised that if Carney is playing for the likes of Newcastle United or maybe some other club. Now, in terms of Cristiano Ronaldo, so far he has been rejected by Chelsea, he has been rejected by Bayern Munich. No other club is coming in forefront to acquire Cristiano Ronaldo because due to his high wages and his age, most probably Cristiano Ronaldo will have to stay at Manchester United. Maybe that's what it is. He'll have to sort out his mind that he has to stay for one more year, and then he'll have to hunt for new clubs coming this January for the next season. And I think he should be playing at Manchester United. At least he'll be a regular starter, and then in this World Cup year. So for that reason, Cristiano Ronaldo might get to stay. As in regards to Frankie de Jong doesn't want to move to Manchester United. Don't know what it is. Maybe because due to the fact that Barcelona are owing him those wages, they have to pay him that 17 million deferred payment. If he isn't being paid by Barcelona, I think Frankie de Jong isn't going to move, and he's going to ask Barcelona to pay him 24 million euros, which was being promised, which was put in his contract, that this year in the new season his wages are going to be for 24 million euros. So Barcelona will have to hurry up and will have to come with some sort of an agreement, maybe paying him in installments or something like that, and that has to be sorted out from the Barcelona's end. We do know that they are looking at Jules Koundé. So once and foremost, if this Frankie de Jong deal isn't sorted out, I don't think so Jules Koundé will be happening, although Barcelona are willing to offer an exchange player to Sevilla. So let's see what happens. We remember Sevilla are interested in Nicolas Pepe as well. So for that reason, they want to reinvest that money getting from Jules Koundé. So Barcelona will have to some sort of get an agreement with Frankie de Jong, because these chain of events will start those transfer moves for the respective players and the respective clubs. So Barcelona are in the midst of everything. Remember, they have done their inbounds. Now all they have to do is do their outbounds, and once that is started, all the other clubs will start doing those transfer moves. Now, talking about in another prospect, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing that I did in one of the previous Sundays. We're going to go and look at the odds of the players joining the clubs. What I want to do is I want you guys to see what is being reported so far, which player is being closer to what club in terms of having that transfer move. We will see which is getting the best odds, which is getting the lowest odds, which player do we think will move, which player do we think is not going to move. We're going to find out about this one right now, and we're going to go to this odds website and we're going to see what is being reported so far in terms of transfers, and we will see how much are we getting in terms of odds. So let's start this one. I've got the list with me and we will see this one right now. Now Cristiano Ronaldo, we're going to start him first and foremost. Cristiano Ronaldo to stay at Manchester United, the odds are 4-6. To Bayern Munich, it's 11-8. I think he will stay at Manchester United, so those odds are pretty much clear. With Neymar to stay at PSG is 1-4. So the next one is Manchester City 4-1. I think he will stay at PSG. So that's pretty much accurate on that front. We're going to go towards Frenkie de Jong. His odds to join Manchester United are 4-6. Whereas to stay at Barcelona are 1-1. Quite awkward over there. And the rest of the clubs are 25, 35-1. That's pretty long. So it's Manchester United or staying at Barcelona for Frenkie de Jong. Now we're going to go towards Paulo Dybala. Now Paulo Dybala has a pretty good odds with Roma, 6-5. With Inter Milan is 5-2. I don't think so Inter Milan will be happening any sooner. I think it's Roma, which is 6-5, is going to be quite serious if Jose Mourinho gets Paulo Dybala. Imagine Tammy Abraham, Paulo Dybala is going to be quite an interesting attacking side. Can we imagine Dybala playing with Jose Mourinho's Roma? It might suit him because he is a perfect number 10 and Jose Mourinho would definitely know how to utilize him. So we might see Paulo Dybala playing for Roma. So getting a very good odds of 6-5. Guys, if you can please subscribe to the channel and press that like button as well. It will be really lovely if you guys can subscribe. And we're going to head towards next one, Matthijs de Ligt, who is playing for Juventus. His odds are 1-10 to join Bayern Munich. To stay at Juventus, it's 6-1. So I think that Bayern Munich are getting closer to de Ligt. So that means we will certainly see de Ligt playing for Bayern Munich. And that means Juventus will be moving for Pau Torres. I want to see his odds as well. But Matthijs de Ligt getting 1-10 to Bayern Munich. We're going to head towards Anthony of Ajax. Manchester United getting odds of 8-11. That's pretty good. But Chelsea are the next one, 5-1. So that seems it's only Manchester United. We'll see what will Manchester United do. Let's look at Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial getting odds of 6-1 with Monaco. Lyon 7-1. Don't think so it will happen. He'll stay at Manchester United. Whereas we'll go to Armando Broja. West Ham United getting 8-11 odds. Everton are next with 11-2. Napoli with 8-1. So that means West Ham United are much more closer to Broja. Is just an agreement. I think there will be some sort of compromise between West Ham and Chelsea. Once that is done, then we will certainly see Broja joining West Ham United. Now, Anthony Gordon, there was some news earlier, but it has gone quiet. We're going to go towards Bernardo Silva. I think he'll stay at Manchester City unless and until Barcelona come up with crazy money. They arrange some sort of financial package or something and they try to get Bernardo Silva. But I don't think so Manchester City will be selling in too late Bernardo Silva. He is getting odds of 10-11 so far, but don't think so will happen. Conor Gallagher, I think he will stay at Chelsea. Nothing much into that. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I want to have a check at this one. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is still getting favorable odds to Newcastle United, 6-4. Next one is City and United, 7-1, 8-1. I don't think so those two will go in for him. But we do know that Newcastle United can go in late for Calvert-Lewin with 6-4 odds, although they have pretty much good strikers up front. But let's see what will happen with Calvert-Lewin. We'll wait and see around the end. Maybe Everton try to keep him over one more season. Remember, he's always injured. So let's see with him what happens. We're going to come to Dumfries of Inter Milan. He has got a good odds of 3-1. Don't think so United will have enough money to get him. So it's going to look pretty hard. We're going to come towards Ivan Toney. I wanted to speak about Ivan Toney and I kept it because Ivan Toney is getting a lot of interest from so many clubs. Now the clubs which have been reported, I wanted to report this in the end because it's unbelievable. I was just checking the newspaper and about 4 clubs were interested in him, and then I come back on social media and there was another club who was interested in him. Now it's quite surprising who the clubs are and I'm going to let you know in a second. So we're going to do Ivan Toney odds in the end, but let's see what do we have else. Jesse Lingard, West Ham United 4-7. Whereas James Ward-Prowse, West Ham 2-1. Again, it's died down. Southampton want to keep him. So let's see what goes on that front. John McGinn, he's going to stay at Aston Villa. Nothing over there. Jack Harrison, as reported earlier, Newcastle United 2-1. So that's going to happen soon. Whereas Luis Suarez, quite interesting one. Now, Wayne Rooney, who is the manager of DC United, was asked this question, if you're interested in Luis Suarez, and he said, no, we're looking for another kind of player. Imagine if Luis Suarez plays for Wayne Rooney, how funny it would be. But anyway, Luis Suarez is being linked with an MLS club. 11 to 10 are the odds. Aston Villa are in next. Steven Gerrard, his ex-teammate, who's the manager of Aston Villa, is with 3 to 1. Aston Villa 3 to 1 for Luis Suarez. Now we're going to go towards Paqueta. He's really an interesting player. Newcastle United again with 1 to 1 odds. So let's see what happens on that front. Arsenal are next with 7 to 4 and Tottenham 20 to 1. I think Paqueta is more towards Newcastle United or Arsenal. Any of those two will take it. And I think Bruno Guimaraes would ask Eddie Howe to get his ex-teammate, and that's going to be quite interesting. Kyle Walker-Peters, Tottenham are the next one, 6 to 1. I think it's going to be 40 million pounds. It's going to be a lot which Southampton are asking of. Don't think so he'll be moving anywhere soon. Cornet is getting favourable odds in terms of Everton, 1 to 2. The next one is Chelsea, 6 to 1. Don't think so he'll be moving to Chelsea. Alonso is getting odds of 1 to 3 with Barcelona, so we'll see that one as well. Now coming on to the other ones, Memphis Depay is an interesting one. Remember guys, Memphis Depay I think is going to be late entry to the transfer market. I think there'll be a club who will be coming in late for Memphis Depay because Barcelona, they've got Aubameyang, they've got Lewandowski, they've got so many players in their striking options. I think Memphis Depay will get a move this transfer market. Sevilla are reported with 2 to 1, Tottenham with 3 to 1. Let's see who goes for Memphis Depay. Nicolas Pepe, Lyon 6 to 1, PSG 6 to 1, Sevilla 6 to 1. So there you go. It can happen anytime soon. It depends on Arsenal what they're willing to sell him for. Nathan Ake is staying at Manchester City, so it's not going to happen with Chelsea. Regarding other one, Pau Torres, this is an interesting one. Pau Torres is being reported to Juventus. 6 to 4 are the odds. Tottenham are next with 4 to 1. I think Juventus is going to happen once De Ligt moves to Bayern Munich. Now we will see at Ruben Neves. Remember, he was linked to Arsenal. He was linked to so many clubs, even Barcelona, but so far nothing has happened on that front. Don't know for what reason. Barcelona are again with 3 to 1, so that means Ruben Neves stays at Wolves until and unless some club comes in late for him and bit crazy. Now we're gonna go for a next player, which is Wilfred Zaha, and I want to see this one because remember Roma were linked with Zaha as well. Imagine Tammy Abraham, Zaha as well as Paulo Dybala. It's going to be quite interesting one, this one. Roma are being reported with 7 to 2. So let's see what happens on that front. I think if Roma go in for Dybala, his wages are so high. I don't think so they will come in for Wilfred Zaha. So maybe some other clubs such as Newcastle United. So that is what it is with Tielemans. Arsenal 4 to 7. So he is edging closer to Arsenal. Now I'm going to come back to Ivan Toney, which is the last of it. Ivan Toney has been reportedly linked with so many clubs that it's quite shocking. And the transfer fee is a lot. It's about more than 30 million pounds. Now the clubs are interested in him are Leeds United, Southampton. It's even said that West Ham United are looking into it. And the biggest surprise of all, it's Chelsea who are looking into Ivan Toney. But the biggest of all is Manchester United. Manchester United are also looking at Ivan Toney. It's quite shocking. It's quite surprising. I think Ivan Toney has really worked hard to get to place where he is, where he's being demanded. And, you know, imagine, I think Newcastle United would be even looking at him. So the odds right now are currently, the first one are Newcastle United 3 to 1. Then we have Arsenal, Manchester United, West Ham, Liverpool, Everton. You know, Ivan Toney, I think, is going to be quite surprising entry into the transfer market. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford do earn lots of bucks from his move. And I think Ivan Toney will be moving to a bigger club. We'll just have to wait out and see what happens. So guys, these are the updates that we have so far. Hopefully you would have loved today's news. And I'll be joining in the evening transfer session. I won't be coming in the afternoon one. So hopefully you'll be tuning in the evening session. Remember, the morning session takes place at 10 a.m. UK time. If there is no morning session, then I definitely come out in the afternoon one because I'm waiting for the transfer stories to be built up and then I report them. So the afternoon session happens at 2 p.m. and at 3 p.m. and the evening session takes place between 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that's what the timings are for the football Gupshup transfer updates. So hopefully you guys would please subscribe, please press that like button as well. Please share this channel with your friends and your family who are into football, and please help this channel to grow on YouTube platform. And please give in your suggestions in the comment section if you have anything to add, and please do subscribe. Thank you very much for your support. Hopefully I'll be seeing you in the evening. Now these timings 10 a.m. are according to UK time. 10 a.m. morning session is UK time, afternoon session is 3 p.m. UK time, as well as the evening session is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. UK time. So that's what it is. Thank you very much guys for tuning in, and hope to see you soon in the evening one. Have a nice one. Thank you very much. Please subscribe. Bye bye.